Hey guys, so I have a video for you today, and this is an updated MAC lipstick collection. So I have 38 MAC lipsticks that I swatched. I have them all right here. Let's all take a moment and say thank you to my lips. Thank you, lips, for not falling off my face. But anyway, I wanted to redo this. I only got a couple new lipsticks since the last time, but the light was really bad in that. I hope this was good. I put up the black background so that hopefully the colors would be as like true to swatch as possible. And just keep in mind that my lips naturally are very dark, so if your lips are darker or lighter than mine, that will kind of alter the color that the lipsticks look. But anyway, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. How about we just all give it a thumbs up for my lips for what they just, went through. It's actually not that bad. They're pretty stained, but they're only a little bit sore. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye! So the first lipstick we have here is To Catch a Sailor. This is a frost, and the color itself is a medium beige brown with a metallic-like frost finish. Now we have Peach Stock, which is a satin, and the shade is a creamy beige peach. I do have to say, if you have any issues with texture on your lips, this lipstick will show it off. I tend to have that problem if I don't use a lip scrub. Next we have Patisserie. This is a luster, and it is described as a sheer, creamy, neutral pink. Next we have Hug Me, and this is a luster finish, and it's described as a flesh pink. I feel like that's a perfect description. And I do have to say though, you do see a lot of my natural lip color coming through this, so if your lips are darker or lighter than mine, this is going to change a lot. It's a very sheer color, but it's perfect. Next we have Viva Glam VI, and this is a luster finish, and it's described as a neutral pink with pearl. As you can see, I've used this quite a bit. Next up we have Shanghai Spice. This is a cream sheen, and it's described as a frosted neutral pink. Now the little micro shimmers in there really don't show up too much, so it's not like a frosty lipstick. And I feel like on me it pulls a little bit more orange than just pink, but it's probably one of those colors that looks very different on everyone. The next lipstick we have here is Fresh BREW. This is a luster, and it's described as a creamed coffee. That's quite the description. I almost see a little bit of an ashy, greenish tone to it. I'm not sure, I could be crazy, but that's how I think it comes off on me. But it is a beautiful kind of creamy beige color. Next we have the famous Velvet Teddy. This is a matte, and it's described as a deep tone beige. I would say more of a mid to deep tone pinky brown. But yeah. The pink to it will definitely show differently on different people. The next shade we have here is Kinda Sexy. This is a matte, and it's described as a neutral pinky rose, but just like Shanghai Spice, I feel like this pulls a lot more orange on me. The next shade we have here is Half and Half. This is an amplified, and it's described as a creamy pink, which I feel like it's a little bit more of a creamy beige or a creamy brown with a little bit of a pink undertone, but I bet, again, that pink kind of pulls differently depending on the person. Next we have Viva Glam VI. This is a luster, and it's described as a terracotta plum with pearl. I would say more of a deep reddish pink plum with pearl. I wouldn't say so much terracotta. Next we have Sea Sheer. This is a luster and it's described as a grapefruit pink, and I think that's a pretty perfect description of it. Next we have Mocha, which is a satin, and it's described as a peachy yellow brown, and you can see the difference between the swatch on my hand and on my lips. The color shows up very, very differently. On my hand, it's definitely more of what it's described as. On my lips, that pink definitely alters the color of it a lot. The next shade we have here is Cream in Your Coffee. This is a cream sheen and it's described as a creamy mid-tone pink brown, which I think is a perfect description. I just think it's so funny that they didn't have this more like the other color that was described as a creamed coffee. You know what I'm saying? Because you'd think cream in your coffee would be like a cream coffee. Anyway, their description's perfect for it. The next shade we have is Twig. It's a satin and it's described as a muted brownish pink. Can you guys tell what kind of colors I enjoy? I can. Next we have Sheer Plum. This is a luster and it's described as a roughed chocolate. I'm not really sure what that means, but this lipstick was discontinued, but it definitely was a kind of nice plummy chocolatey color. Next we have Polished Up, which is a luster, and they describe this as a foxy brown. So I'm assuming that means kind of like a reddish brown, but I would almost kind of err more towards like a muted plum brown. So this next shade is Del Rio. This is a satin, and funny enough, this is described as a muted plum brown. I didn't realize it when I said that for the last one, but I would actually describe this as a just more opaque version of Polished Up, and it has less of a sheen to it. Next we have Verve, which is a satin, and this is described as a muted brownish plum. Del Rio was a muted plum brown. This is a muted brownish plum. You know, there's a difference, so clearly I like my brown shades with every type of hue to them. Next we have Bare Again. This is a Sheen Supreme and it is described as a pinky neutral beige. And I'm sorry, I can't put this on my lips. I'm very allergic to it on my lips, but it is a beautiful color. I wish I could wear it. Next we have Viva Glam Nicki 2. This is an amplified and it's described as a pastel lavender pink. And with my dark natural lip color underneath, it is so hard to get this color to look fully opaque and without seeing any of my lip through it. Next we have Viva Glam Gaga. This is a luster and it's a slightly cool tone bubblegum pink. Next we have SNOB. This is a satin and they describe it as a light neutral pink, but I think they're full of shit because this is definitely cool tone. This next shade is Viva Glam Nicki. This is a satin and it's considered a bright yellowish pink, which I will completely agree with. I think this lipstick would have been a lot better had it been a matte, only because it's one of those lipsticks that really shows off any imperfections on your lips and just doesn't really sit right because it slides too much. This next one is Viva Glam Cyndi. This is a luster and it's described as a muted coral red, which I think is a perfect description. This makes me think of like if you just ate a popsicle. That is the type of lipstick this is, popsicle lips. This next shade is the famous Ruby Woo, or should I say infamous. This is a matte, and I love how they describe it as a very matte, vivid blue red. So it is a very matte shade. You know, if you've ever put on your lips, sometimes it can be a little tricky, but it's just a really nice mid-tone, vivid blue red. This next shade is Viva Glam Rihanna, and it's a frost, and they describe it as a blue red. I personally think it's a little bit more neutral. I don't really see that much of a blue. I think it's just a very pretty neutral red with a frost, but it's a very wearable, very beautiful frost. I really love the way they created this. This next shade we have here is Russian Red. This is a matte, and it's considered an intense bluish red. I also think there's a little bit of a brown to it too, which I love. Now the next shade and the last red we have here is Viva Glam 1. This is a matte, and it's considered an intense brownish blue red. I'm trying to stay neutral throughout this video, but this is like by far one of my all-time favorite reds, and it's just an amazing lipstick. The next shade we have here is O. This is a frost, and it is described as a purplish red with golden pearl, which I think is a perfect description of it. This is a very different lipstick. I don't have anything else in my collection like this. It is just a really cool lipstick to have, I think. The next shade here is Violetta. This is an amplified, and it's described as a bright, clean violet purple. And I just want to make a side note that this lipstick doesn't really have a frost or a shimmer, but it has this reflective property like usually a fuchsia lipstick will have. The next shade we have here is Heroine. This is a matte, and it is described as a bright purple. And this is just really what I want purple lipsticks to look like. Again, I'm trying to be neutral through this video, but this is like a gorgeous purple lipstick, better than pretty much any other one I've found. The next lipstick we have is Rebel. This is a satin, and it's described as a mid-tone cream plum. And this is definitely more of a warm tone plum as opposed to like a cooler toned one. The next lipstick we have here is Dark Side. This is an amplified, and they describe it as a deep burgundy. The next lipstick we have here is a Sheen Supreme, and this is called Good to Be Bad. It is described as a deep burgundy as well. And my problem with this lipstick, and this was my fault for getting a Sheen Supreme in this color, it slides around too much for a dark color. It's never quite opaque. The next lipstick we have here is Smoked Purple. This is a matte, and it is considered a deep eggplant purple. It is a beautiful color, but oh my god, it is so matte. You could see I was having trouble there, and so I'm sorry I had to cheat and put a little lip balm on. This is more matte than Ruby Woo, but the color is amazing. The next shade we have here is Cyber. This is a satin, and it's considered an intense blackish purple. Again, beautiful color, but sort of like that Good to Be Bad shade. It's just a little too creamy for a dark color, so it tends to slide around a little bit, so you can't always quite get and keep that opacity. And then last but not least, this is Underworld. It's a satin, and it's a dark red brown, and this was discontinued a long time ago, and I wish they hadn't, because this is a really beautiful color and quite unique, I think. Alright you guys, so that is all for the video. I hope you enjoyed this. If you guys did like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already. And if you guys want to see me do a look with any of these lipsticks, or if you want to know more about any of them, let me know, and then we will either do a look or I will try to answer your question as best I can. So I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye!